Hey guys, Brad Chappell here. I've got my buddy Hayden Jeffries with me. We've got a special treat today. We're actually going to go out on the Ross Barnett here. It is hot, to say the least. As you can kind of see, this boat ramp is completely empty and the fish are biting, but we're going to do two different techniques today. First one we're going to try is casting to brush piles with a brand new Bobby Garland bait, the Itty Bitty Slab Hunters. Small baits. You know, they're really getting after these things and chomping on them, and hopefully you'll see a lot of action with that. And as the sun gets up and gets a little bit hotter, we're going to switch over and pull some crankbaits, and I'm going to show you from A to Z how to pull crankbaits in a lake that has a lot of timber. It's a really good tactic to kind of keep cool in the middle of the daytime. So I'm going to encourage everybody to get out in the summertime. These two tactics will put more fish in the boat for you, so stay tuned for part 1 and part 2 coming up. See right now, guys, I've got it zoomed out all the way to about 80 feet out, and we're going to just be cruising along here, and I'm looking for a glowing, I call it a sizzling looking tree, but that tells me there's fish up ahead. And at that point I'm going to slow down the boat and just kind of coast in that direction. As I'm coasting, I'm going to bring in the live scope closer in view, and then I like stopping at about 40 feet out from wherever I'm fishing towards. 40 feet still gives me a good picture of the jigs going down and the fish and, you know, everything that I actually need to see. But as I'm looking for another brush pile, I've got it zoomed out to 80 feet. So let's see what it looks like. I'm decide scanning it. You can see there's absolutely loaded full of shad in this area, but this is what I'm looking for right there. You can kind of see how it's sizzling and all different shapes, and you can actually see some fish moving. But as I'm getting closer, I've got the trolling motor off at this point, and I'm going to zoom in. Keep just stair stepping it in until I get about 40 feet. Starting to see some fish sitting here. All right, 40 feet, which I'm gonna turn around and stop this boat. Stop the boat. Now, there's my target. Let's see if we can catch one of them. All right, they're going down to them. Oops, I got one. Oh, I got one. There's a double for you. Hey. Whew. Hey. Got a little black crappie and a little white crappie. They're sitting on that stump together. I see that they're really wanting this itty bitty, the smaller profile. It's just something to pay attention to when you're fishing, is what size baits are they actually hitting on, and the itty bitties they're definitely working. The deal with this too today is It's very slick. Water's actually pretty clean for down south, but I'm not wanting to spook these fish, and that's really why I like casting to these fish. Is we're not going to really let them know that, you know, we're targeting them. So we're going to stay around 20 feet from them, from these stumps and such, just so we don't spook them, and we can catch as many fish as we want to as long as we don't spook them. Sun actually facing into our face, and that's another thing. If I was on the other side, the shadow of the boat would be casting forward and could possibly spook them as well. So face into the sun to your target, so you don't have a shadow going on to actually what you're fishing as well. But here's the fish again, about 22 feet away. And you can kind of see on the top of the Garmin here where it's at. It's going to be 22, 24 feet in that direction. There's mine going back down on them. Alright guys, I'm going to show you my setup this morning. First I'm going to use this 1/16 and I'm going to put it right through the line here, and I'm going to just let it drop down for right now. Now my itty bitty hook here, and as you can see it's itty bitty. I'm going to put it through the line, form a loop. I'm going to run it through there 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to just kind of pull the loop and knot right back towards the jig head. Snugged it up, and I've got about, I'd say about 3/4 of an inch loop right there. I'm going to come back and grab my other jig, and I want it about 10 inches above my bottom one here. So I'm going to come back, pinch the lines together, form a loop, run it through there 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to make another small little loop knot. This one's a tiny bit bigger, but it's only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And that is the setup here. I'm going to put still a itty bitty up top and an itty bitty on bottom, but as we can see, most of them are getting hit by this itty bitty on the back side. So stay tuned. One of the tricks of this is getting them fired up. You catch a couple and all of a sudden, you know, you're gonna catch 3 or 4 more, so just keep casting to them and putting that jig right back in their face. Fire them up. Look where that bait is. I mean, that's exactly where you want it. Right in the part of his mouth. Even today, as the sun gets a little higher, these brush piles and stumps would actually be more loaded. Well, it's hard to believe that at this point. Into the thick of it. He's following it and looking at it. They are all over it. Good fish. Good one. Woo-wee! Got a monster.
I don't know what to do with him.
He needs a net, boy.
Oh,
see if he can hand him. Get that whale in here.
There we go.
That is a bona fide slab, fellas. That is a slab.
All right. There we go. There's a nice Barnett slab. Even a fish this big came on that little bitty 1.25 inch slab hunter.
What we kind of noticed so far is these fish are actually just following these baits as they're coming through these brush piles. So one of the tricks that we're employing is starting to speed up the retrieve, and as you're speeding up, these fish are coming up and actually attacking them. It's so cool to watch.
Got him. Good fish. Big old magnolia. It's a big magnolia. A huge magnolia.
Oh.
Ah! Come here. Come here. Come here. That's the biggest magnolia I've ever caught.
Oh my, man, what a gorgeous fish.
It's a big magnolia. Got the racing stripe. Beautiful fish. Came on the little bitty 1.25 inch bait and smoked it.
All right, guys, stay tuned for part 2 coming up.